Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dive Deep. I'm Shelby Cornett, and I'm the ministry assistant at Cambridge City Christian Church. And today I'm with Winston
Yes, I brought Winston with me today.
and Danny. But Winston,
Say hi, everybody.
he's so cute. He's been running around in here.
Yeah. How's things
He's
going,
good.
Shelby?
Good,
Good. Yep.
How are you, Winston?
You don't care about how I'm doing. It's about Winston. Winston, you're always the star of the show.
He's the special guest today.
That's right. Yes, he is the special guest.
Yeah.
He knows he is, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell
Yep.
So I thought today we would just talk about like a general summary of the sermon series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we did pause
Yep.
on rest.
Mm-hmm.
And it surprised me the things I learned from the rest, because I just thought, physical rest. I'm just going to learn to take some time. But there was a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, I mentioned Sunday that the original intent of the series, when I was thinking of it several months back, was the idea of physical rest.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I got into it and studying more, I thought, wow, there's more to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, physical rest is important, but there's spiritual rest. There's rest that comes in having healthy relationships and relationships that can forgive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where this series went, if you think about it. I mean, we went from physical rest the first week to the second week. We talked a little bit about the number 7 being wholeness and completeness. So that was finding that wholeness and completeness in our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
But then the third week we got into forgiving completely and wholly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last week was 70 times 7 this past Sunday, where we talked about, you forgive completely and wholly, but you have to do it over and over again and again. It has to be repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely that's what God does sometimes in our daily lives, but even with a sermon series, he'll take it in a direction that maybe you weren't thinking. That's the Holy Spirit's work. That's what he does.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks I was like, okay, I get this. Like, I don't do it. I need to work on it, but I get this. And then the second 2 weeks I was like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. There's a lot more to rest. I mean, if you think about it too, when we talk about rest, some of the things that make us the most weary have nothing to do with physical. Like, I mean, it does make you feel physically, but the effect, the thing that causes you to be tired isn't physical. It's not like you've been out in the field all day or working in the yard or whatever. It's you have a relationship that's strained. It can be very wearisome, and then it affects you physically. So really, in many ways, this was about physical rest, but not directly. It was about how lack of forgiveness, not seeking Christ to find wholeness and completeness. If we don't do those things, then we don't have rest.
And I didn't think about holding a grudge and how much that can affect you.
Yeah.
And I liked how you compared it to a pet, because you have to, like, you feed it and you think about it. And I noticed, I'm like, I do that.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time letting go of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just like anxiety that I think about stuff all the time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why we don't hold on to things. I mean, or why we do hold on to things. Sometimes it's insecurity. Like, if I let my guard down, and people think that forgiveness is weakness oftentimes. So if I forgive, then I'm weak. So I have to look strong, and so I'm going to hold this against him, even though a lot of times I don't even know. Winston has something to say. So, but
He needs his own microphone.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. He never barks. This is funny. Like, hey, you're okay. Come on.
I think
I think the air conditioners, the heaters down here,
the
are
curtain
throwing
moved.
him off. Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, I think the curtain moved when it kicked on.
Yeah, his bark's real scary though. As you can hear. Yeah, he's going to scare everybody away.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
There was something. I had something in my head, and
that's
it's
all right.
gone.
Winston took it from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's rest is a very elusive thing for all of us. And I do think it has to start physically. I think if we can physically stop, build into the rhythm of our week, times to physically stop and rest, then what that does is it then opens up our mind enough to then seek after God to find that wholeness and completeness, to maybe reconsider the way that we interact with people that maybe we're having a hard time forgiving. So it makes a lot of sense. It's cool how the Holy Spirit did that, where he's like, okay, you got to stop first and then consider where you're at with Christ, where you're at with other people, and then find the place to give forgiveness with people.
Yeah.
And
It kind of tied into, I did a devotional a year ago probably called Overwhelmed by My Blessings.
Okay.
And a lot of stuff in this series made me think of that devotional because they kind of tied into each other.
Yeah.
Like when there's so much going on, it's hard to just stop.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, especially in your stage, you've got two, toddlers. I mean, well, I guess Ava's still technically an infant, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I would consider her
she's
toddler
a toddler
at this
she's
point.
A toddler, yeah. And, you got your hands full. So it's hard to stop and find those times, but we have to. Yeah. And really any stage of life, I'll just tell you, I wish I could tell you that it gets easier to do that as you get older, but you find other things to fill up your time. And, we've all got to do a better job at making sure we do that we rest. So
yeah, I like this series.
It was a different series. When I ran across this idea a couple years ago, I was listening to a podcast and I thought, this is something that I need, but it's something that our church needs. And it worked out that it fit into this fall schedule. And so, it was really good. I mean, we could have talked a lot more about this topic. There is so much in the Bible about rest. That was one of the things, when I started the series, I mentioned that I was surprised at how much the Bible talks about resting. I don't know why we don't recognize
Well, I mean,
that.
it's part of the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's something that wasn't brought up in the series. But
going to confess, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well.
Until a couple weeks ago in my life group, we were reading about the 10 Commandments, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. But you don't hear about that. Usually you hear about don't kill, don't steal, those kinds of things in the 10 Commandments, yeah. And I will, one thing that we didn't get into, believe me, we could talk on and on about this. There's a lot of discussion since the church started 2,000 years ago about how does the Sabbath fit into the church today, because do we still have to follow the Sabbath? Do we still have to observe the Sabbath? Now, there are some churches that believe you do. I know that there are some Baptists, a certain type of Baptist churches. There's the Seventh-day Adventist Church that still practice the idea of Sabbath being on a Saturday, and a lot of the, not a lot, but some of the Sabbath practices are even still incorporated. But most of the church has come to the idea that the Sabbath was an idea that was instituted by God to give us rest, that it wasn't necessarily focused on a specific time frame, like we see today within Judaism and in some churches about sunrise or sunset to sunset on Friday night to Saturday night.
Right.
It was really more of a principle, and Jesus talked a little bit about that, about how it's a principle that we should observe, that is to rest. So some people have decided that Sunday is that day that they do that. Others, it's other days. But we all need to do that. Just because we don't do it on Friday night to Saturday night anymore doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. It's still a command.
Right.
So we need to take it more seriously.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, good series.
Yeah. And then this week we start
Relational Vampires. With Halloween this week, we're going to do a 3-week. It's just a short series, looking at different people in our lives that
drive us nuts.
Well, like me, right? To you.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
It's going to be all about Danny and Travis sucking the life out of me.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you've always got to find a way to get a dig in.
I know.
Don't you? Yeah.
I know.
But no, it's about relational vampires, the people that suck life out of us. And I think we're talking about critical people the first week. We're going to talk about needy people and also hypocritical people.
Children.
Needy. Yeah, kids can be pretty needy. They can suck the life out of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as you love them, they
Yeah.
can do that. So, yeah.
So I'm
good
excited.
series. Yeah.
Yeah. So join us next week when we start talking about relational vampires, and we'll see you then.